The second last participant, third last one participant didn't give his expectations. Maybe he didn't have expectation or maybe the list was too long. The second last is Muhammad Imran Fazil. The longer it is, that it came down lower in the list. Number one, inshallah, I would want to learn how to dissolve the fundamentals of other religions without hurting anyone's sentiments about it in a very respectful and meaningful way. I'm sorry. You will not be doing this here. Why? I'll tell you. Your expectation. Inshallah, I would want to learn how to dissolve the fundamentals of other religions without hurting anyone's sentiments about it in a very respectful and meaningful way. Why will he not learn this year? Can anyone give the reply? I repeat it twice. Why will he not be able to learn here how to dissolve the fundamentals of other religions? Yes, brother. Can you pass on the microphone? What you mean, I know. What your intentions, I know. But the words are.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, what I've learned, the fundamentals of different religions is Tawheed, what I've learned from your lectures.
So if you dissolve Tawheed, how can you be a Dai? You should tell, I will learn here how to convince them that the fundamentals are Tawheed. You understand? I know what your intention is. You wanted to tell that I want to dissolve the wrong thinking, but the words say, dissolve the fundamentals of other religions without hurting them. With hurting them also you should not. Correct? I know your intention. I want to correct it. Because the fundamental of every religion is Tawheed. To remind them of the fundamentals of other religions, which is Tawheed. Correct? Yes, Brother Imran. Are you convinced? We'll deal with that, inshallah. We'll be dealing with the fundamentals of other religions. And you'll come to know, I will teach you how to convince them to go back to the fundamentals rather than dissolve it, inshallah. Point number 2, looking for opportunities to practice our learnings through internal and periodic debates, exposure to public speech in front of crowd. Inshallah. Once, I remember that last training program I conducted more than 16 years back in 1999. Amongst one of the participants was a Malaysian, also a Christian revert, like how some are here. Brother Muhammad Ayub, do you know him? He was a Christian missionary and he had the title IFS, International Forgiver of Sins. In Christianity, you have authority, you can forgive sins in this locality, you can forgive sin in this city, you can forgive sin in this country. He was International Forgiver of Sin. International means he was based in Germany, he was a Malaysian, he was a Christian, he had the post of International Forgiver of Sin. And these people are trained. They are trained thoroughly in how to speak. But when he came and spoke on the stage of IRF, that time the stage was small. Very small stage. The size of the auditorium was 350 square feet, 35 square meter. This is 10,000 square feet, 1,000 square meter. You multiply, 30 times bigger. The whole of this auditorium we had was small part of the stage. The stage is covering actually more than half of the floor. On that small stage of IRF, he was shivering. And he was saying, all my training went to the dogs. All his training went to the dogs. He said, I've addressed large audiences, but here speaking on the stage, But alhamdulillah, it was dip and then went up again. Then he realized the effectiveness that was there, because that training is not based on haq, this training is based on haq. The difference. So inshallah, may Allah give you the opportunity to be able to speak effectively. Effectively is the most important word, inshallah. Expectation number 3, I would like one of the 2 weekly offs to be on Friday if possible, and also would like to be able to do 5 times salah per day on time. Hence, I expect the schedule of a program to support that. I would like one of the 2 weekly offs to be on Friday if possible, and also would like to be able to do 5 times salah per day on time. Yes, weekly off is Friday. I didn't expect. Even if it's not a Friday, you have to pray 5 times. So how does this? Or there are 2 different expectations. Means this training program you like that 1 weekly off should be Friday. It is, mashallah.
The emphasis on the schedule.
That you wanted the schedule to be in such a way.
in a way that it is facilitating all these week off.
And if it is not,
Well, I was just expecting that from our training program. If not, I would have requested anyway.
I'm asking you a question. That if your expectation is not met, if the Dawah training program doesn't give time for Salah, the training program is not worth attending. It is like you telling me, okay, I will come to have lunch with you as long as you don't serve pork. If you tell that to a practicing Muslim, he'll feel offended. What do you mean? I'm going to serve alcohol and pork? You understand, no? So when you're going to a Dawah training, that means you have not done your homework. That means you have not done your homework on Dr. Zakir Naik, and neither have you done your homework on IRF. And without doing homework, you are going to give 50 days, 45 days. It's not advisable.
Actually, sir, there was one other line I had in that email that I haven't attended any Dawah programs and I really do not know what to expect. And hence, these were some of the things that came to my mind.
If the Dawah training program does not give you time to offer Salah on time, it's not worth attending. It may be the best program in the world. That means it's an un-Islamic training program. It can't be a Islamic Dawah training program. Salah is the most important. It's the most important. If you join IRF, it's compulsory that every person, they have to offer Salah on time, in Jamaat, in the mosque. On time, in Jamaat, in the mosque. The sawab that you get in the mosque is multiple times more. In IRF, it is compulsory, unless if you go on outdoor assignment. Compulsory. One of the requirements to join IRF is to keep a beard. Compulsory. Preferably one fist. Minimum we say 1 centimeter so it can be seen. But preferably one fist. Wearing the cap. Wearing a cap is not fard in Islam, but it's a sunnah. Wearing trousers above the ankle, it's a fard. So when in an organization where wearing the trousers above the ankle is a fard, I don't know of any Islamic organization in the world. They may be, Allah Alam. I have traveled to different parts of the world. I don't know a single Dawah organization in the world which makes it compulsory for its employees to keep a beard and wear trousers above the ankle. I don't know of any. Not even in Saudi Arabia. Even in our school, we have, mashallah, more than 450 employees in Bombay alone. It is, alhamdulillah, one of the largest Islamic Dawah organizations in the world, alhamdulillah, in terms of number of people working. So you cannot expect, you have to inquire. Before submitting your application, if you doubt, it can't come in expectation, it can come into your inquiry list. Is it clear? So in future, if you're going for a training program, it shouldn't be expectation. If you say, I would expect to become a 5-time namazi, that's a different thing. I would want to become regular in prayer, that's different. But you can't expect that you will have a Friday off. And Friday off is preferable, not compulsory. Here we have a Friday off, alhamdulillah. Praying Jummah Salah is a must, alhamdulillah. So that expectation is not by doing the course. If they allow you to pray, they are doing a favor, it's a requirement. So this will not come in expectation. It should come in your inquiry list. Point number 4, inshallah, good halal food, safe and clean place to stay. Inshallah, halal food is there. Good food is subjective. I was telling yesterday to the foreigners, what's good for me may not be good for you. To the foreign participants, and 10 of them are from the Oriental line. 6 are from Malaysia, 2 from Singapore, 1 from Indonesia, 1 from Japan. So 10 people of the participants are from Oriental. So I asked Asif Naik, who's my nephew, that try and get some Oriental food. He said, taste it. I said, what will I do tasting it? Most probably I won't like it. You're asking the wrong person. You can ask Oriental person, ask a Malaysian or Indonesian to taste it. Even if I say, yes, it has no value, even if I say, no, it's no value, most probably I'll say no. So he said that, will I send a sample to your home? I said, what is the use? Correct? Because I'm not expert in that field. And personally, I don't like, I've had Oriental food. So good is subjective. Halal, yes, it has to be. Again, you inquiring whether you'll get halal food is an inquiry. It cannot be an expectation. If you come to know that there is a course where halal food is not served, you have to make arrangement for your own halal food. But Islamic organization giving haram food, that means you haven't done your inquiry on that organization. Safe and clean place to stay. This is a question which I have to, though I didn't want to tell in detail. Point number 4, good halal food, safe and clean place to stay. Good food is subjective, halal inshallah is there. Good, safe and clean. Safe place. Some people don't like staying in buildings. It's very safe.
We're talking about Mumbai, right?
What is Mumbai?
I've heard a lot of things about Mumbai that it's not really safe.
You know, Mumbai, in the cities of India, it doesn't come as, Delhi if you say yes. And the most dangerous cities, Bombay is considered one of the safest cities. And there was a survey done in Bombay, which is the safest locality. It is Dongri, where organization IRF is. For the women, there is a survey, which is the safest locality for women, because we are in the hub of the Muslims in Bombay. So safe, good halal food, clean place to stay. I didn't want to comment on this question, but I'm commenting because it's an expectation. So it's very important that if you want to do something for Islam, and if you can check, as I told you something in interview, sometimes you don't. And it was told very clearly that there were certain criteria we had kept for selection of the participants. And based on that criteria, when Brother Kaleem took the interview, fortunately or unfortunately, amongst the pure Indian means Indian resident, none was selected. There are two types of Indians, Indian resident and non-resident Indian, means Indians staying abroad. So amongst the Indian non-residents, only 2 qualified. One was my son. He stays in Saudi Arabia, so he's an NRI. And one more person who was from Holland. He's not here. I'll tell you later on. Then I told, okay, when we are having the course, why not we have a parallel room? So while this training is going on, there are other Indians sitting in a parallel room, which many of you may be aware. Now these people, by default, did not qualify in the normal criteria for being selected as a participant for the IDTP. As a general policy, we asked to all the people who applied, you want to be a full-time Dai? And almost all said yes. Then we also asked the question that would you like to work in IRF as a full-time employee? And Alhamdulillah, more than 80% of the foreigners and more than 80% of the Indians said yes. Not that we wanted to employ them. But as a question, why? If you want to be a full-time Dai, are you willing to work in the organization? Yes, we would like to, because I believe that if a Japanese, like mashallah, our brother here, who knows Japanese, and if I employ him in Bombay, I may benefit, but I am decreasing the spread because he's a Japanese. He knows Japanese, very few people know Japanese and who can be a good Dai. So if I train a Japanese in doing dawah and keep him in Bombay, point number 1, a foreigner can't do missionary activity in India. Can't give public lectures. But we asked only to check. What is his passion? Is he willing to sacrifice or not? A person coming from UK wanting to work in Bombay, passion is good. Just to check. Would you like, we didn't say yes, we'll employ you. Yes, there were 1 or 2 participants like brother, mashallah, Shafiq, who will be beneficial to us because we have launched a channel in Mandarin. So we want a person knowing English and Mandarin. We have a few Chinese, mashallah, there with us, pure Chinese, but they know Arabic and Chinese, not English and Mandarin. So there are a couple of foreigners who would be staying here, inshallah, and working with us, but that will benefit them because what work he can do in Bombay, he can't do anywhere else in the world. He being able to reach millions of people through Peace TV, he cannot do that in Malaysia. But I don't have a Japanese channel, so if I ask him to stay here, he would be a better impact for the Islamic work in Japan than here. So as a policy, we had 2 different rules. For them, then I told Brother Kaleem that, okay, fine, if there are hardly 2 Indians who have come into the list by default, let's ask the other Indians that, will you work here? So 80% agreed yes. So from that lot, we had a second category that, fine, you will be observing the Dawah training program on a screen in a side room. Yet you will benefit more than 75%. How? Your homework would be taken by another instructor, no problem. You will not be able to ask me questions on the spot. But maybe thrice in 33 days, I would give them a couple of hours, 2 hours or 3 hours. You jot down the questions, I will answer once in 10 days maybe. On the condition that you agree to work here full time. There's a condition now. For attending the hour training program, it was a question. And there were some people who also said, we will not work here, but we selected them in the international training program. In the next room, it was only that fine. You did not qualify for the main round. Now there's a second, that is costing me money, which is not benefiting the Ummah. Why? Because that's not going on satellite. Here my cost per person is very expensive. There also there's a cost involved. It's in lakhs of rupees. Lakhs of rupees means thousands of dollars. Several $1,000s there. Here, it's in big amount. So there we had mentioned in the form very clearly that simple and basic accommodation will be given. If anyone wants something better, he will have to pay for it. So that we are clear now. We are clear. Simple and basic. Now, simple and basic, what is for you may differ for me. What is for you may differ for me. It is subjective, I know that. Now, for the foreigners, what accommodation we gave, we think it is basic and simple. They may think it is good, they may think it is low, it is up to them. I may have to take a survey, maybe. What we felt basic and simple for an Indian, irrespective whether he's coming from China or whether he's coming from, he's an Indian. The policies were different. He did not qualify for the main round. So we had another accommodation, which was in apartments, which is basic and simple, which is when I travel the world, I stayed in accommodation worse than that. Dr. Zakir Naik. When I went to UK, they kept me in a room, which was little bigger than the bed I slept on. Allah has given me so much money that mashallah I can stay in 5-star hotel anywhere in the world. Alhamdulillah. Allah has given that to me. We didn't object. We said, Alhamdulillah, they gave me a chance to do dawah, no problem. I paid for my ticket. Not to learn. They call me, I pay my ticket, they charge for my entry. They make money. I pay for my ticket. And I have a habit when I prepare, I walk in the room. Imagine 6 feet by about 5 feet room. I'm talking about the old days in the early 2000s. We didn't object. Surely the accommodation we gave here is multiple times better than the accommodation when I traveled. Alhamdulillah. Now the situation is different. Alhamdulillah. We want to test, not that we can't afford. Whenever we call English speaker for Peace TV, all of them, we don't give 5-star, we give 5-star deluxe. It's not required. We want to tell the Dai, okay, fine, we give you the best treatment. When a budget of this hour training program is so big, we can keep all of you into 5-star deluxe. We don't want to spoil you, we don't want to degrade your niyyah. If you want to stay in a 5-star for the hour training, why to waste the ummah's money? Alhamdulillah, we can afford to keep all of you in 5-star deluxe. That is the capacity of organization. One participant who I mentioned earlier in the session, I don't take his name, he had said that please give me, I don't mind coming if there's no seat, I'll sit in the side room, I'll pay for my accommodation, etc. And when he came here, he said the accommodation is not up to standard. So I said, fine. You are willing to pay, you can pay. I told Brother Kaleem that if he wants accommodation better than what we have given, he'll have to pay minimum 3,000 rupees a day. But Kaleem was afraid, he said 2,000 a day. He said, I'll go back. That means he can't pay 2,000 a day for this training. And he's a Dai. He's a Dai giving lectures. I said, Alhamdulillah. We saved the money of the Ummah. And he's earning good money. He said, I earn a lot of money, I can pay for my accommodation. So one thing is speaking, one thing is, most of the foreigners that have come, if I tell them to pay, they will pay. And no, we don't require, Alhamdulillah. Because we can judge the enthusiasm of each one. We don't want to spoil. If a person comes here because we are giving good accommodation, how will be a Dai? But we don't want to trouble him too much. Therefore, we said the basic for the foreigners would be Balwas Hotel. 4-star hotel. We can afford the most expensive hotels, alhamdulillah. Allah has blessed us. People come and say that if they want to learn in my school, we would not mind going in a hut and learning. Suppose tomorrow you come to know the place is unclean. What do you think? You don't do the Dawah training program? Hypothetically, if I have to study under Didat, I would live in a hut on the streets also. Even if I have to pay $1 million and I can afford it, I will pay. Because that money cannot buy that training. Those who value, they know. Those who don't value, and neither do we want to be extravagant. A person comes as a speaker is on a different level. You are coming as students to learn, yet we don't want you to be something substandard. If a person who thinks living in an apartment where we kept, most of our staffs are staying there, it is fine. And if he thinks that it is not up to the standard and he wants to go, I said, no, even if he wants to do, I will not allow him. I want to search somewhere where I can get. I said, even if he gets the place, he cannot continue. He cannot start, but alhamdulillah, he himself ran away. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us many a time to find out what is the real test. Inshallah, we have to end the session within the next few minutes because it's time for Maghrib Salah. I'll just rush through. Point number 5, need help to identify the qualities of Da'i in me, as Dr. Zakir, Yusuf Estes, Hamza Yusuf, Noman Ali Khan are very different in their ways but very effective, and I might be more suitable towards one style and not all. Hence, helping me to nourish the best of my qualities to give dawah in the way of Allah effectively. Being just effective is not important. Being effective on lines of Quran and Sunnah is more important. There are, mashallah, da'is who are effective, but they're far away from Quran and Sunnah. So if you want to be an effective da'i away from Quran and Sunnah, that's the reason always before selecting, do your homework. If you're going to spend here 45 days with me, and if you have not done homework on me, you're a big fool. I'm not telling you, I'm just telling in general. You have to do your homework. There are many people who are effective, but when you say Zakir says become an effective da'i, it's understood on the lines of Quran and Sunnah. Why? Because I've seen his speech, always Quran. You understand, no? There may be other da'is who may have programs, but their effectiveness is not on line of Quran and Sunnah. Correct? So being effective on the lines of Quran and Sunnah is the most important rather than only be effective. Point number 6, I would like to know a clear long-term and short-term career plan with IRF, as I would be joining as employee from day one, and what are the company's expectation towards us so that I can plan for the best in this career and gain blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One thing is that if you work in IRF, one of the major benefits is the chances of you getting benefit in the akhirah are more. 1 point. Others all negligible. Last point, inshallah, free access to the library, as I would like to spend my time reading from Islamic books from your library. To have free access today, you don't have to travel. Everything is there on the net. This is the age of science and technology. You don't have to join an organization to have access to the books. The books are available on the net, most of it, alhamdulillah. We are running short of time and we have to break for the salah. The last expectation, we'll just finish fast. That's the Farik Naik, 8 expectations. Number 1, knowing that many people will inshallah benefit as it is aired on Peace TV, and also the participants can later have such courses in the countries. Inshallah. Number 2, achieving a holistic approach of dawah to non-Muslims, as dawah is compulsory on every Muslim, so fulfilling your obligation. Inshallah. Point number 3, making the appropriate use of Quran and Hadith, reason, logic, and science for promoting the message of Islam in the best and most effective manner to gain solely the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now here's the expectation. The only expectation amongst all the students is making the appropriate use of Quran and Hadith, reason, logic, and science for promoting the message of Islam is the best and the most effective manner to gain solely the pleasure. Most of you said effective da'i, but Farik says no. Using knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, reason, logic, science, promoting, and then becoming effective, which was covered in the last point. His is the biggest, longest expectation. Number 4, learning the art of dawah in terms of public speaking, one-to-one, and other ways of dawah through media, newspapers, and magazines, as media is the most important tool of dawah, inshallah. Point number 5, learn various aspects of Islam beyond dawah, like leading a religious life by involving oneself in Islamic activities, the best way to involve oneself in Islamic activities, inshallah. Point number 6, how to run and operate a dawah organization in terms of effectiveness of the organization and Islamic activities, including dawah, also knowing the administrative and technical aspects related to the organization. Point number 7, the effective use of the available sources in the most cheap and impressive manner to convey the message of Islam. Example, Peace TV, the budget of per person watching is very cheap. Inshallah, we'll discuss this on the 7th day when we have dawah through satellite. And the last, he has given 8 expectations. We asked for 7, he gave 8. The techniques of debate, because in a debate it is not the one with more knowledge who wins, but rather the one who has the skills and techniques of debating. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible for you to achieve all these 8 expectations I mentioned. And we break for a Maghrib Salah, we are late. Please offer your Salah fast. And inshallah, we'll meet tomorrow. Inshallah, be here at 7:25 sharp, so that we can start the session 8 o'clock tomorrow morning sharp on the second day. That is dealing, inshallah, with the introduction to dawah. Wa akhir da'wan alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.